All right, so once again, I'm live. Five just getting in. Nice evening today. Said some storm, but it didn't. Um, um, whatever. In storm, so it's supposed to be a nice day. Um, a lot of things been going on. Been getting calls since early this morning about Creepy Joe. Things happened this morning. Um, things happened in Philadelphia this morning. So when I woke up this morning, this is what happened. So there was a show. What's going on, Bishop? Oh, hey, Felicia. What the hell? I don't know what's going on with the thing. Hold on, Bishop. Trying to get you. All right. I don't know what happened there, man. That was kind of weird. Yep. Yeah. So you doing all right?
I'm doing pretty
I'm
good.
looking at
Pretty
this
good. How
thing.
about you?
I'm looking at this thing you sent me.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So I'm pulling it up now. I'm gonna put the video on the screen, and we're gonna talk about it as soon as we're done. All right.
Okay.
You're talking about the thing that happened in Philadelphia because it was two things.
And maybe that's what you were allowed to ask by the campaign or the White House. But they were essentially the same questions, both interviews, about accomplishments, progress in your respective state, what's at stake in the election, what he has to say about his debate performance, and what he would say to voters who think their vote doesn't matter or might sit this election out. Were those questions given to you by the White House, or did you have, or the campaign, or did you have to submit questions ahead of this interview?
The questions were sent to me for approval. I approved them.
Okay, so the White House sent the questions to you ahead of the interview.
Yes.
Okay.
I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved.
Okay. And the reason I ask is not a criticism of either of you. It's just that if the White House is trying now to prove the the vim, vigor, acuity of the president, I don't know how they do that by sending questions first before the interview so that the president knows.
All right, guys, so we got to do a quick follow-up video to a video that I did earlier today about a black radio host who happens to be a black liberal woman going on CNN and exposing the Biden campaign for essentially sending her questions that she must ask Joe Biden before the interview and then asking Joe Biden those pre-approved questions. Now, again, this is kind of a big deal because the whole point of these interviews is to prove that Joe Biden is cognitively capable of being president of the United States. Okay, so now that this news has come out of the Biden campaign essentially rigging these interviews by sending the questions that can be asked to the interviewer before the interview, it basically just destroys the whole point of doing the interviews in the first place, okay? Because essentially the interviews were rigged. Now all of a sudden, this host has been fired from this all-black radio station, which, by the way, I found to be pretty hilarious, okay? We have black radio stations, apparently, okay? I mean, what do you consider the white radio station? Okay, I haven't heard of any of those, but apparently we have black radio stations in 2024. But yeah, they fired this woman for telling the truth, snitching on the Biden administration on CNN. And obviously, this is extremely humiliating for the Biden administration. And I think this is revenge, right, for stabbing Joe Biden in the back, right? You see what Joe Biden does to these black women? Okay, if you don't go along with the Democrat Party and lockstep, they throw you away like a used condom, okay? You guys remember that video of Joe Biden ignoring that little black girl, okay, at the campaign rally? Yeah, this is how Joe Biden Democrats treat black people and black women as well, too. Their strongest supporters, right? This is how they treat them when they fall out of line, okay? You get punished, okay? Which is exactly what's happening to this radio host. So without further ado, let's get into it. The all-black Pennsylvania radio station Word landed the first interview with Joe Biden after his rightfully maligned presidential debate performance last month. Afterward, host Andrea Lawful Sanders flatuitously admitted to CNN that she asked the president questions sent to her from the White House. Quote, "The questions were sent to me for approval. I approve of them." Lawful Sanders said Saturday of her July 4th interview with Biden, quote, "I got several questions, 8 of them, and the 4 that were chosen were the ones that I approved." The station, which says it was unaware of the host's agreement with the Biden campaign, parted ways with Lawful Sanders on Sunday. Word Radon CEO Sarah M. Lomax announced Lawful Sanders' departure in a message titled, quote, "Accountability, Access, and a Path Forward, Why Black Media Matters" on the state's website. The statement reads as follows, quote, "Word Radio remains an independent voice that our audience can trust will hold elected officials accountable. As Pennsylvania's only independent Black-owned talk radio station, Word Radio has cultivated that trust with our audience over our 20-year history. This is something we take very seriously. Agreeing to a predetermined set of questions jeopardizes that trust and is not a practice that Word Radio engages in or endorses as a matter of practice or official policy." Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't believe a word of this, right? I do not believe a word of this. I think that Word here is upset that this woman snitched on the Biden administration, okay? Because this radio station is liberal Democrat Party propaganda, okay? Don't get it twisted, because if they weren't, then Biden would not have done the interview. The fact that Biden did the interview tells you everything you need to know, because Biden does not do hostile interviews, okay? He will not go on Fox News. He will not go on News Nation. He will not go on Newsmax. He will not go on any station or network or news outlet that is going to be hostile to the Democrat Party, right? So you know going into this that this is very Biden-friendly territory. So to act like they're not propaganda for the Democrat Party is just silly, right? Because this radio station definitely is, no doubt. As Pennsylvania's only independent Black-owned talk radio station, Word Radio has cultivated that trust with our audience over our 20-year history. This is something we take very seriously. Agreeing to a predetermined set of questions jeopardizes that trust and is not a practice that Word Radio engages in or endorses as a matter of practice or official policy. Word Radio is not a mouthpiece for the Biden or any other administration. Yeah, I don't believe that, right? I don't believe that at all, okay? And one of the reasons why I don't believe it is because after all this came out, some of the people and the CEO at this radio station have been exposed. Okay, from St. James Heartline, he says a review of FEC records shows the radio station CEO and others employed by the station have made campaign contributions to Joe Biden's campaign, the DNC, and super PACs dedicated to defeating Republicans, thus undermining claims made by the station's CEO. Okay, so check this out. You have evidence here that this radio station is, in fact, propaganda for the Democrat Party. As you can see here, you have donations being made to Democrats from employees at the radio station, the CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, I believe that's her name. Okay, going to Democrats. In fact, I looked up her donations, and she had been donating as far back as 2007, I believe, to Barack Obama. Okay, so to say that this is not a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party when this whole station is owned by Democrats, right? Democrat activists, is kind of silly, right? It really is. I mean, it's right here. Okay, you can see all the donations and stuff like that. So I'm just saying that this is not entirely true from this radio station. I'm not buying their explanation. So with that being said, do I think that this woman should have been fired? I mean, you know, if this radio station, which is owned by journalists, I believe, or put it this way, the CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, if this radio station claims to be doing journalism, then yeah, because this is not journalism. But let's not act like this woman.
All right, Chak and Bishop. Bishop, this was in your city. I'm gonna give you the first crack at it. You called me early this morning about it or text me, whatever. And I said, you know what, let's do a show on it. I even got home earlier today than usual so we could do a show on it because I got some other things to do later. But I said, I'm going to let Bishop tell me what he thought about this. Starting with the radio show first. And we get
it looks like Philadelphia has been is going to be his Waterloo. And remember, keep in mind, this is one of the battleground states with his being reelected. And he has shown himself 2 times. We saw this one. I know you're going to play another one once again in Philadelphia this past weekend. He's shown himself again to be less than honorable. First, this one is a sense of honor. And once again, it's showing me that his handlers, the people that are advising him, the people that are coaching him, the people that are running roughshod for him,
when you die,
making sure that he does not continue this downward trend that he is by asking the woman to only ask these questions. She said they gave her 8. She chose 4. Now I don't care whether she chose 1. It was still a pre-scripted questions. Questions they think that he could handle without any difficulty. That was the whole thing. When she made mention of that, all of a sudden she's fired. We know how the black media, we know how the black justice system has targeted Donald Trump and has embraced extremely so Joe Biden to the point of it being almost embarrassing. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, I was in a church yesterday, and the woman said she was talking about testimony time, and she was talking about the difficulties in society and all of that. And the last thing she said was, "Pray for our president, President Biden. He's being this and he's being that. He's being attacked and all of that." And I just shut my mouth. And Teresa said, "Yeah, he should be out of office." And then I opened my mouth and say, "Amen. You're right about that." We can see our community is strongly still pro Biden. I don't understand this. To be honest with you, Bernard, maybe you can explain it. I don't understand this. Once again, Biden is showing his true colors. He and his team are showing their true colors. They're once again showing that they are not pro-black at all. And yet we just stand with him no matter what. This blue, we're gonna vote blue no matter who. Mentality is ridiculous. I mean, I thought you're supposed to judge a person by its merit. And if you would judge Joe Biden by his merit, he should have no black votes, no black support. He doesn't have any black support here. And
Well,
I'm not
let
even
me
talking
say
about
this. Let me
Trump
answer
here.
your question.
Joe Biden by
Let me
himself.
answer your question. Let me
Yeah.
answer your question. Number one, it ain't a large person community supporting Joe Biden. You know why? Because it really tell you truth, like I tell people, a lot of people ain't even looking to even vote at all for neither candidate. That's another problem. So, really tell you truth. So, it's like this. It's only one section of people that's voting. It's mostly people that's older. People 50 years older than that. Gen Z really don't care too much. College ones do, but then they tell you that a lot of people not enrolling in college no more. So that's not even really, I mean, as I told you, I'm going to just put it out there. Only 133 million plus voted in the last election anyway. All the other stuff came from other sources. I mean, the New York, what is it? It was the New York Times or it was National Enquirer. They wrote a thing, and they said that the shadow government campaign helped. What's that word again? I got to use. Fortified the election. That's what they say. They fortified it, which means technically they talked about all the they to put money into it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And they're going to do the same.
But,
They're doing the same
so, now. Now this guy's from my state here, Pharrell. Yeah, you know Pharrell, the singer, rapper, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's from my state. Now he's
Okay.
down here talking this. He's shooting a movie down here in Richmond too. He's talking the same nonsense. So
I tell you, I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're paying off.
But listen,
I don't know what
this is about that pastor. This is about that pastor you talking about. So hold on.
Oh yeah, good.
White and blue for a while. That rally.
Yeah.
The things that were being said, those T-shirts. I mean, when you see some of the things that are being said, not just about my culture, but about women. There's some other people out there, and we know where they're coming from too. And I'm praying that women come together and save this nation. When you think about the destructive things that have come from mankind, mostly men, it's not women that are running up in our schools shooting our kids up. And it's on the line right now. It's crazy, the men that say some of the things that they say and do some of the things that they do. They forget how much women have to carry. But we're at a place in time where people say things and you'll see women supporting that. It ain't just men on that trail following that guy. It's women out there too, blinded. You think about the other side and where that's going. So we have to make a decision. Are we going to let this other situation take over and remind us of what great used to be? Are we going to do that? Are we going to redefine great?
All right, guys. So we got to continue to follow up on the post-debate drama that is happening around Joe Biden. And after he absolutely bombed doing the stuff to be president of the United States. Now, that has created another battle in the Democrat Civil War because remember, these people have been fighting each other for a long time. The main battle has been Israel and Gaza, and now the new battlefront is Joe Biden and whether or not he should stay in office. Okay, you have Democrats that believe that he should step down. He's not cognitively fit enough to be president. He needs to be replaced by Kamala or somebody else. And then you have some people who are still supporting Joe Biden. And the people who are still supporting Joe Biden are the usual suspects, right? They're the usual suspects. And I want you guys to guess who is a part of this usual suspect of people that are supporting Joe Biden no matter what, okay? First, let's start with the so-called Black church, okay, which Joe Biden attended in Philadelphia. And the pastor, while praying over Joe Biden, and probably the most political prayer that I've ever heard in my life, but in praying over Joe Biden, he is accidentally roasting Joe Biden. And I don't think the pastor realizes that he's not really doing Joe Biden any favors with this prayer. Take a look.
Let us stand together. Oh, at the cross, at the cross, where I first saw the light and the burden for it was there by faith I received my sight, and now I am happy. If Joseph could get out of the pit, if Jesus could get out of the pit, President Biden is coming back. He's a comeback kid. He's a fighter. He's a champion. He's a winner. Hallelujah. Let me give God some praise, somebody. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Let us pray. Father, we pray for our president. Bishop, you commanded us to pray for them in authority. Our president gets discouraged. But today, through your Holy Spirit, renew his mind, renew his spirit, renew his body. He's the man we need in these terrible times. Times of war, destruction, trouble around the world. But Father, I remember a bumper sticker on a senior citizen's car that said, I may be slow, but I'm in front of you. Use our president. Use his experience. Use his handicaps. And be glorified in his life. In Jesus' name. Let's receive our president, the President of the United States, President Joseph Biden.
Yo, he said this.
All right, man. What do you think, man? Bishop, what do you think about this? You in Philadelphia? Talk about it. You're on mute.
Yeah, I think it's really a travesty. It would be a tragedy if it wasn't so important. I mean, look at the man. Look how he looked. Even after that glorious hype that the pastor was introducing him by, he was still standing like he was sitting there like, where am I? Who am I? What's this all about? Alfie. No, your name is Joe. Alfie. He was just as confused. You can see him as they were singing, and the pastor asked everybody to stand. He was looking over at his handlers to get their guidance. Should I stand? Well, what do I do? You know, you're seeing the pastor stand. He's instructing the congregation to stand. Finally, all the ministers stood, and they must have just gestured for him to, in the wings, gestured for him to stand alongside of him. And he stood mouth open again, gaping, staring aimlessly, blankly into the air. And even after the pastor gave us eloquent, I mean, highly controversial, propagandized introduction of the president, he still was not into it. Like he didn't hear a word that man said. He didn't nod in agreement. He didn't smile. He just stood there like a blank slate. And I say this, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it until someone hears. This is proof positive that we don't have a president. We have a team that's doing presidential duties, and all he does is put his signature on the legislation. Whatever he does, good or bad, this is not Joe Biden. This is not Joe Biden. What we've seen really in the whole 4 years, I've seen so many. They kept on calling it gaffes. He couldn't sing the America the Beautiful. He forgot about that. He called himself a senator instead of the president. He referred to Kamala Harris as the president. He's mistaken his wife for his sister-in-law. I mean, he fell down the steps. He fell up the airplane steps. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. Fell off of a bicycle. Didn't know what direction he was going in. He needed Obama to lead him off the stage. Even after the debate, Trump went backstage by himself. Biden couldn't even get off the stage. His wife had to come and help him off the stage. Is this what we want? Is this what we want? He's talking about Biden with Stephanopoulos. He said that Trump lied here and there, and then the host asked him, "What have you seen the debate?" I'm not sure if I have or not. What? The debate was only 8 days before this interview. It happened on Thursday. By next Friday, he was sitting in the ABC studios being interviewed, and he can't remember whether he saw the debate after the fact or not. What is wrong with America that we really believe this pastor is a joke? And I know the man because I've been to his church. But in this instance, it's a joke. I don't.
Bishop.
And our other big story, Hurricane
Bishop. Yo. Bishop, what's up? You all right? I'm coming to radiation poison in a minute. As soon as I get into this hurricane beryl thing. Bishop, here on. Man, they've been messing with my screen pioneer, man, last couple of times, man. They don't like this information, man. You know what I mean? So. La, la, la. Yo.
Call was Edwards.
Yeah, it might be them. All right.
Hello?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm on the phone with you.
Well, you can't be because your screen black and I can't hear you.
Oh, well. Okay.
You've been.
Let me call back in. I'm doing all this talking. I'm looking, seeing you. I didn't even see myself.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man, you were gone for like 3-4 minutes. That's why I called.
Oh well, yeah, because somebody interrupted me calling from Delaware. I told them I'm on the screen, and so that's probably what happened. They bumped me off. But let me just say in conclusion, with this issue, we are in a very precarious position. There's no doubt about it. This is Barack Obama's 4th term. If he wins, he will have served longer than anybody but Franklin Roosevelt, because that's what this is. This is Obama Part 2. Actually, Part 4, if I want to say, he had his own 8 years. He's had the first 4 years of Biden. Now he's going to have the next 4 years of Biden. He would have served 2 terms. He would have served 4 terms in actuality. Because Biden, if anybody thinks, Bernard, that Biden is running this ship, with all the stuff that's happening over the border, illegal immigrants, 3 or 4 wars that we're involved in, either directly or indirectly. If you think this president is the one that's the captain of this ship, you are highly, and when I say you, I mean society, Americans, whatever, voters who vote for Biden, and he's talking about what he did. Biden, you haven't done nothing but sign a piece of paper. That's all you've done. You've been a pencil pusher. They gave you the paper to sign. You sign it as president. It goes through. There's no doubt in my mind that he's not running the show. And let me say this, and that's what I was saying at the very end, and then I'll be through with this. What we have to be mindful of this whole system, the way it's running, a team, the Obama, the Clintons, Axelrod, Soros, and Lord knows who else is running this ship. It's setting a precedent, because now there won't be no such thing as a president of the United States anymore. If we don't watch this thing, there's going to be a team that'll be running the country, and the only thing the president will be is a figurehead and a puppet, whose puppet master pulls his strings. We already know that's what's happening anyway, but now the cover's off. That's one thing I like about this Biden thing. The cover's now off. We always know that it wasn't the president that really had the power. It was the power brokers that held the power. Now with Biden, he's so incompetent and so tragic that there's no doubt that there's a team of people that run this country. That's why I say we're not a democracy, we're not a democratic republic, we're an oligarchy. An oligarchy is rulership, governorship by a few. There's a few people that run this country, and that person right now is not Joseph R. Biden. He's not running anything at all. That's my opinion.
Well, I looked at it like this. I mean, hey, he'll be going to a lot of events over the next couple months to get this thing there. I got to talk about thing in Texas though, because our friends are, out there in Texas, some of them. So
beryl.
Yeah, winds, lots of rain falling, destructive run through the Caribbean and Mexico. Hurricane Beryl has now made landfall along the Texas coastline. This video just coming into us here this morning showing heavy rains pounding Surfside Beach, which is just south of Galveston. And with that rain comes powerful winds like this.
Oh, it's gonna snap. Oh, there it goes.
Yeah.
Fortunately, some of these drivers, they waited and watched to see what was happening, because this light could have easily fallen on someone's vehicle. Our Fox Weather crew in Surfside capturing that traffic light just getting blown down onto the street. And this is just a few of the videos here that have been shared with us, and of all the elements that folks are going through in this part of the country.
So Beryl was downgraded to a tropical storm after moving through the Gulf of Mexico, but has since grown back to a hurricane status, hitting portions of Texas this morning as a Category 1. So we're going to get out to Ron. He's been tracking this for us as well this morning. Good morning.
Well, the weather experts say that Beryl actually came ashore at Matagorda, which is about 80 miles south and west of Houston, but is so far north of where originally they were thinking Brownsville down there around South Padre Island, perhaps as far north as north of both of those cities. And we just learned that the hurricane is being blamed for one death already in that massive Houston metro area. Officials are warning that while it's not as life-threatening as a Cat 5 like we saw last week, there are already 1 million customers without power. There were reports of flooding in the area around Houston. Earlier today, Ty was saying it's a possible scenario of a foot of rain being dumped on Houston. FEMA's already sent in emergency responders, search and rescue teams. People along the Texas coast have been taking it upon themselves to be ready for the worst, boarding up windows and trying to get out of those beach towns which were under evacuation orders.
food, gas. I have ice, a whole bunch of ice. I got food for 3 days at home. I'm going to close them. You never know. Mother Nature's funny, man. It could seem like a real light storm, all of a sudden, boom.
So the there was expect a weekend tropical storm later today as it turns toward Arkansas. Mex area, really a lot of rain and wind could really be causing problems over the course of this entire day in that area around Houston, one of the biggest metro areas.
Yeah, and a big hub for so many airlines, you know, for them to get from the West Coast to make those connections and head east.
Yeah, well, and sure. So air travel problems probably across the country.
Talking about and this came on shore probably right around 4:30 our time. As soon as we came on air this morning is when we were starting. It's moved on, which is not good because that means that over the next track. And according to these models, it is going to remain a hurricane until it moves its way out of a wind 75 or as it moves its way out.
Whoa. All right, Bishop, what do you think about that?
You know, I have family. I just text my niece. She's there in Texas. They were devastated by it. They had power lost from this morning until an hour ago. She just texted me. My granddaughter also lives in Texas. She too was impacted by this storm. So just like you said, Bernard, you know, folk, I have a granddaughter and a niece that both live in the area. So our prayers and our thoughts and our concern is certainly pointed in that direction. It was a devastating storm. As we hear the reports, it had downgraded. Now it's increasing in strength again. So we're just hoping and praying that everyone and everyone concerned will find shelter, fortify themselves, and weather the storm. These things are something that, unlike other things, these are things none of us can control. We know we're in the hurricane season. We're just at the beginning of it. It starts in June. It doesn't end till November. So we'll have many more instances like this. But our
Well,
prayers and our thoughts are pointed in Texas.
Well, let me say something. In all honesty, but you got people controlling it through weather modification like HOP. This storm was in the Caribbean and got all the way to Texas. That ain't good. These people are using weather modification on us to tag on cause flooding and take parts of areas out. They've been doing this for quite some time.
Well,
so
all we can say is for the people who have no control of any of this, the actual citizens of Houston and Texas and that region. Of course, they had nothing to do with that. They're just the victims of this, like you said, corrupt society. Once again, that points to the fact that it's all about something they want to do. They want to be in control.
By
and now they're trying to be like God. And you know what happens when you try to be like God? Something ends up happening that you don't want happening. Things start to crumble. And I'm gonna tell you something, Bernard.
Cohen.
Yep. I don't see much future in our nation.
Steve Cohen said years ago, by 2022 or 2023, they'll be able to control all weather modification. They will be able to go. But Lyndon B. Johnson said, "He who controls the weather controls the world."
Johnson said quite a few things, didn't he?
Johnson.
Any of the same one that said, what I'm gonna do for these black folk, he used the N-word naturally, will last for 60 years. Johnson had a job. Johnson was something. Johnson really was. He turned the tide of a lot of things that we don't until recently we didn't know how impacting Johnson really was in a negative way. We hear about him, Civil Rights Act and all that, but he did some things that now is coming to light that has really turned this world upside down and maybe irreversible. I mean, we've always heard the rumors he had something to do with the Kennedy assassination and all that good stuff. Johnson was somebody. And he was a devious somebody at that.
Also in 1965, there was a guy named, I think it's a Jewish guy named Jacob Jarvis. You can look him up. They were behind the 1965 immigration bill. So as soon as Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act, they put the immigration bill right in behind it.
Okay.
Those civil rights were not for us; they were for immigrants, man.
And they're still being for immigrants. They still benefit more than we do.
Jacob Jarvis.
Jacob Jarvis. Yeah, I've heard that name.
But they also said you cannot discriminate. They also said you can't discriminate on sex and gender.
They knew these days were coming. So I'm gonna tell you something about those folk that we need to learn. They don't live day by day. They live decades, centuries by decades and centuries. They plan way ahead. We plan for what we're gonna have for dinner tomorrow. That's why we plan. What vacation spot we're gonna go to for the summer's end.
You know what? Stop right there, man, because this ain't gonna be a long show tonight. I'm just gonna bring up something. We were talking about hurricanes and stuff. I had family that went out this weekend. Some people I know, family, friends, they went to the Essence Festival. Guess who came to the Essence Festival? Ooh, Kamala Harris came.
Look at that.
Kamala Harris. She came and did a speech.
Oh, natural.
Yeah, she came and did her a nice speech.
Someone who is less popular than our president. She's another joke as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it to you for a second.
Yeah, please do. I want to see. Oh, there she is. The VP.
Well, Vice President Kamala Harris joined the CEO of the Essence Festival of Culture for a forum as part of a push by the Biden-Harris campaign to reach Black voters as the presidential election nears. WGNO's Ashley Hamilton has the story.
Vice President Kamala Harris took the Essence Festival stage to speak to voters about the election, calling it the most significant election of our lifetime.
There has been a full-on intentional attack against hard-fought, hard-won freedoms and rights. We each have the power to decide what kind of country we want to live in.
Although this is VP Harris's third Essence Festival appearance in a row, the visit comes after multiple polls show President Joe Biden trailing slightly behind former President Donald Trump. She spoke on the dangers of Trump being elected.
You have the former president who is running to become president again, who has openly talked about his admiration of dictators and his intention to be a dictator on day one, who has talked about being proud of taking from the women of America a most fundamental right to make decisions about your own body.
Touching on the removal of Roe versus Wade and women's rights to their own bodies, the VP emphasized the disproportionate rate of maternal mortality among Black women, especially in the South.
Except for the state of Virginia, every state has an abortion ban. And what I find hypocrisy upon hypocrisy by some of these extremists is the same ones saying they're passing these abortion bans because they care about women and children have been completely silent on the issue of Black maternal mortality.
Reiterating how the Biden administration has lowered student debt, the price of insulin, and working to have medical debt not count against a person's financial score. Speaking to the crowd, VP Harris explains, if President Biden is reelected, much more is to come.
What what we intend to do to raise federal minimum wage and make affordable child care a reality for all families. That if you are first generation in your family to seek home ownership, you'll get a $25,000 tax credit to help.
The forum left feeling optimistic.
To see her and to just see, she could tell that she really felt and believed what she was saying, and that her background exhibited the work that she's done. Happy to hear her speak about women's rights, because it's so very wonderful to know that we had women's rights, and now hopefully we will continue to get them back.
Ashley Hamilton, WGNO News.
And Harris told the crowd at the convention center that she picked up tasso and andouille sausage in New Orleans to take back to Washington, D.C.
What do you think about that, Bishop?
I mean, it's just somebody said today, Bernard. I'm gonna turn it back to you. Somebody said it's a sad situation when you're on the wrong side by saying you want to keep children alive. That you're wrong for doing that. You're wrong for defending the right of an infant baby in the womb. That somehow you're on the wrong side of the political agenda. That now we're living in a society where defending the rights of unborn children is a bad thing. You're on the wrong side of the question. Where have we gone? Where have we gone? And then, she likes to placate, she likes to court the women and your rights and all of this. All of it, she's a phony from the heart, from the core. She got there hook, crook, and other kind of ways into power.
Get mad
She
at me
uses
if you
the same technique to maintain power. And she only talks about women and black women and other things like that, surround herself by black people when it is expedient to do so. She made it very clear when asked clearly by a black news reporter during the campaign. She was asked very clearly, would you do anything specifically for black people? And her answer was quickly and unabatedly, she replied, no, I wouldn't do anything just for black people. Yet you got up there with your little greens and just like Hillary did, your little greens and all this kind of stuff and dancing, talking about you used to do reefer and all that on the Breakfast Club and all the things you were trying to be a part of the group. And what she talked about when she came along, she named certain entertainers that weren't even entertaining when she was in college. Oh, I remember when Snoop and all. When you were in school, girl, there was no Snoop. Stop it. All the entertainers, oh yeah, we hopped and popped to this group and this guy and that guy. And somebody said later on, they said her age would indicate when she was in school, those persons weren't entertainers yet. But she'll say anything. Like Biden will, they'll say anything. I think every Democrat will say anything to black folk that they think black folk will buy into, and 9 times out of 10 we do, and that's the fact, Jack. I know I've been around too long to know how entrenched we are in the Democratic Party. We love them to death. We love them to death, and I'm so glad that young people like you are awakening, and I'm glad some people like me and Bianchi and others. I'm not a Republican either. Bianchi is, but I've opened my eyes to the Democratic Party for sure. And now I'm 72, going on 73 in November, so I'm a baby boomer that knows the truth of the matter.
Let me put out what this pastor said. Hold on.
Go on.
Because they get mad at him.
Want to. Some folks need killing. You know, there's a time when we used to meet evil on the battlefield, and guess what we did to it? We killed it.
Right. There you go.
We didn't quibble about it. We didn't argue about it. We didn't fight about it. We killed it. When the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, what do? We flew to Japan. And we killed the Japanese Army and Navy. We didn't even quibble about it. I didn't start this fight. You did. You wanted to be left alone. You should have left me alone. We didn't argue and capitulate and talk about, well, maybe we shouldn't fight the Nazis that hard. No, they're bad. Kill them. Some liberal somewhere is going to say that sounds awful. Too bad. Get mad at me if you want to. Some folks need killing. It's time for somebody to say it. Get mad at me if you want to. Some folks need killing. You know, it was a time when we used to meet.
So this is Pastor Mark Robinson from in North Carolina. Well, actually, he's running for lieutenant governor, actually. And he made a statement saying some folks need killing. He basically, they're making a big fuss about it right now, saying that they call him a homophobic and all this other stuff. So, you know, a lot of things going on there.
My thing is the Democrats and the Republicans themselves.
What do you think about it, Bishop?
Well, Republicans and Democrats say this. They are now, they're so blatant and so unafraid of the consequences. They tell you, we're going to give you the lesser of two evils. And instead of Americans not being satisfied with that, we choose what we consider the lesser two evils. I'm tired of choosing between evil and evil. I'm tired of it because I can't distinguish between what's the greater of two evils. Evil is evil. Don't we have anybody good in this country that can run? That's what I want to. That's what I want to ask America. Can't we pick somebody the best of the best instead of the lesser of two evils? What's wrong with us? That we're satisfied with choosing from. We did it in 2016. That's when they first started taking the gloves off and telling you choose the lesser of two evils. Hillary's evil, but she's lesser evil than Trump. 2020, the same thing. Oh, Biden ain't no good either, but Biden's better than Trump. Now here we are in 2024. Again, the lesser of two evils. What is wrong with us that we satisfy ourselves with that? And we choose the lesser of two evils, who we think are the lesser of two evils. Some will choose Trump as the lesser of two evils. Some will choose Biden. But you're still choosing evil, and then you're surprised when they show their evil. If you're choosing evil,
look,
what do you expect?
So we're talking about T.D. Jakes stuff here.
Oh,
bring up T.D. Jakes since he getting a divorce. You talking about the lesser of two evils. Well, here you go.
Separate from T.D. Jakes, a new chapter unfolds. Welcome back, Stardom Scoop fam. Get ready to uncover the shocking news that has rocked the religious world. Sarita Jakes, the wife of the renowned speculation. In this episode, we'll delve into the details surrounding this unexpected revelation and explore the potential.
All right, Shaq. You back, man. Wait, we wonder where you been at, man.
Oh, man. Peace. What's going on, Bishop?
How you doing, Chak? Hey, buddy.
Yeah,
How
you
you
was
doing,
on
buddy?
earlier, man.
I'm doing well, man. I was talking to Dawson, man. She was giving me a little update what was going on down in the area, man. I had got off. You called me. I had chopped it up with her. How y'all doing, though?
What's going on? What's going on?
Now, she was just giving me the updates on a situation that's going on down there. You said y'all was out of power for a minute,
No, I say they out of power where she at. I can't hear you, bro.
She said just give her the number. She'll call in and give y'all a little update.
Yeah, because I did report on her. Hurricane. Tell her call my phone. Tell her call my phone. I'm right here.
Okay.
Tell her call my phone.
I got you.
Okay, tell her call my phone. Bishop, let's get a live update.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be good. My niece said that the power has just come on where she is. She lives actually in Houston itself. She sent me a video, and it was torrential. How the homes were being destroyed, trees coming down. So she just sent that to me.
I didn't know you had family members here in Texas.
Potential impact it
Yeah, I
may
have
have on their personal
my
lives
niece
and
and my
ministry.
granddaughter.
But before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all the hottest celebrity scoops and breaking news. In a surprising turn of events, Sarita Jakes, the wife of renowned pastor and author T.D. Jakes, has recently announced her decision to separate from her husband. The news has sent shockwaves through the religious community and has left many wondering about the future of their long-standing marriage. In this article, we explore the details surrounding Sarita Jakes' announcement and the potential implications for the couple's personal lives and ministry. Sarita Jakes, a respected figure in her own right, made the decision public during a heartfelt address to the congregation at the Potter's House, the Dallas-based megachurch led by T.D. Jakes. With a mix of sadness and determination, she shared her choice to embark on a new chapter in her life, emphasizing the need for personal growth and self-discovery. The announcement has sparked intense speculation and widespread discussion within both religious and secular circles. The separation of such prominent figures within the church community undoubtedly has a profound impact on the Potter's House congregation. Many members have looked up to the Jakeses as role models and believed in the strength of their union. Sarita's decision to separate raises questions about the stability of other marriages within the congregation and the ability to navigate challenges within a faith-based framework. The church leadership faces the challenging task of providing guidance and support to their flock during this uncertain period. Sarita Jakes' decision to pursue personal growth and self-discovery signifies a desire for individual development outside the confines of her marital relationship. This choice reflects a growing trend in modern relationships, where individuals seek personal fulfillment and self-realization alongside their commitment to marriage. T.D. Jakes have years of decades, building a substantial following and impacting countless lives. However, the couple's separation raises questions about the future of their joint ministry endeavors. Will they continue to collaborate, albeit in different capacities, or will this separation lead to a reevaluation of their individual?
All right, Bishop, that was about T.D. Jakes.
Yes. He's no longer the pastor of the church. His daughter now pastors the church.
One
His
cupcake.
daughter now pastors the church. The wife has left. This was news to me about the separation. I had not heard that, but I'm not surprised. There's more and more details are unfolding about T.D. Jake and his collaboration, to be nice about it, with P. Diddy. So it's just it's a sad situation. But once again, these people that are living high on the hog on the backs of the poor are getting their comeups. They really are. They're getting the justice is pleading their case in a way. I mean, he's a multimillionaire with planes and all this kind of thing, and all kind of a fleet of cars and jets and a luxurious home worth millions of dollars and all of this type of thing. And someone was saying, one of the pastors said, now that they don't need the congregation to live high on the hog, every one of them began with nothing. And so they needed the congregation to build their empires until they got to a place now they no longer need them. And I think when you become too powerful, too brazen about your power, even if you're in the pulpit, something about this, there's a compromise in morality. And when you start compromising your morality, your moral barometer, then you get hooked up into things you shouldn't be hooked up into. A pastor of his caliber should not have been hooked up and not even being engaged in any way with a P. Diddy, going to his parties and other things. Why would a pastor want to go to a P. Diddy party? Everybody knows what they were like. But there we are. There we
Well,
are.
let me. That's how it rolls. I'm just laughing at it, but this is my last video of the day. Shaq, I don't know where you went to, but talking about this radiation poisoning right quick.
That's fine. 1,000 cupcakes at once, not fine. You've probably seen acute radiation poisoning on TV, people wrapped in bandages and such, but chances are you don't know what's going on there. So let's shed some visible light radiation on this mystery, shall we? There are a few kinds of radiation. Some is light or heat, but the kind that damages tissue is called ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiation comes in high energy waves like X-rays and gamma rays, or from nuclear material via particle decay. This kind of radiation can damage atoms, which can affect whole molecules like DNA, and that can affect your cells, organs, and eventually your whole body. For example, your cells are comprised of water, H2O, which, if broken apart by radiation, can reform as O2 or H2 or H2O2, hydrogen peroxide. Of course, this dosage, when you get a dose of radiation, specialists use sieverts to calculate how much they used in gray for the actual absorption of radiation into tissue. A dental or stomach X-ray might be like 8 rays in that. Repeated low level, but when lots of ionizing radiation hits you at once, radiation hits you at once, which is what we're going to talk.
Yeah, I was talking about, I was getting this radiation poisoning, but you said you got something going. Yeah, you got something going. I reported on Hurricane Beryl earlier in Houston. It's like a category 1 or something. Yeah. What's the update?
Oh, no. Everything probably getting back to normal. They had a little flooding earlier. Some cars got stuck. I think even my son's dad, his car got stuck in the flood water. Him and my son went out to go and try to move it. I guess the water subsided, but the power went out, the Wi-Fi went out. We had like a lot of wind, down trees, a lot of trees uprooted. Some people got killed because a tree fell on their home. A lot of homes damaged from trees uprooting out the ground. That's something unusual that keep happening here with these little storms we keep getting hit with, not just the hurricanes.
I told Bishop earlier they run their hop drills.
Yeah, that's what. Everybody said that. I even saw Billy Alex Jones. He was saying it's Texas being attacked. It's this weather manipulation because that storm initially went from Jamaica, hit parts of Mexico and was supposed to go either kind of hit the border of Texas, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, but all of a sudden just made a turn. And they didn't did that to us before, like this tropical storm years ago in 2000. It was a hurricane that turned to a tropical storm. Now the tropical storm had hit us, right, with a lot of rain and flood. Went back out to the Gulf of Mexico to get more energy. Came back and hit us again and set on us for 4 more days. Before we had so much water. So Texas been under attack with hard for these radars. But they really hitting us now because our governor, he's making big deals with other countries. He just signed the office for Taiwan, I guess to deal with this chip manufacturing or something in Texas. So right now the governor is cross seas again. And Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor, he kind of abandoned everything. So Texas making some big moves, Then we got the stock exchange starting now. So we under attack.
Well, I will say this since I was on this topic of radiation. What people in Texas need to know when these storms happen, they sometimes put radioactive elements into the air in the water system. So people need to watch what's going on. That happens a lot.
BJ, you know what? It's funny you said that. When the storm was going on, I kept smelling something real funny and weird. It had this real, funny, weird smell.
Mm-hmm.
So you on to something with that. You're right.
Yeah. Remember, they always can put radioactive elements in the air during these storms. Okay. You think it's rain like today. Here, they said we're supposed to have some major rainstorm. That shit never happened. But I will tell you knew it was raining because you could feel it. You could see the big cloud. And then it started raining with the sun out. And then it started raining. Now, look, I'm telling you, I was looking down the street. It was raining down the street. But where I was at, it was drizzling. And then it stopped. It stopped at it right there. Then it went back to being hot again. This shit was weird as hell.
Now that's interesting. Well, that's interesting, Bernard. You said that because that's what happened here in Philadelphia too. One side of the street was downpour, the other side was dry.
like real, like it wasn't even like fog. It was some real weird smog, and it had a real bad smell to it. I had to put on like long sleeves. I put on like 2 masks. I went and made my son get on a gas mask. I don't trust these people.
Well, he'll be a fool to trust these people at this time. But I am glad you say you did text me this morning. You say y'all, okay, so y'all safe. Okay, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't even bother to send you the show because I didn't know what was going on in the condition. But now I know you're safe. We're still on the show.
No, our power the power just came back on, but it's still. They said they reported 2 million people without power, and the number probably has went up since then. But yeah, we okay, Jack.
Bishop just said his niece is in Houston. He said that she's okay as well. He actually wanted to do this show that I told him I didn't have a long time. I probably gave him about 10 minutes, but he wanted to talk about this pastor that had Biden in the church yesterday, and the woman that got fired on the radio station. You know, sister girl got fired.
Oh yeah, you mentioned and I had sent it too before all the power went out. So yeah, she got let go. Now they were putting on Biden went out and sent questions to the radio hosts and any other hosts going forward.
They say she resigned.
Yeah, this stuff is a joke.
Yeah, but also
they say she resigned now.
Another news agency, another news agency said she was actually fired. She was fired.
That's what.
So the Daily Mail said she was fired.
That's what Bishop just said. He said she got fired.
Yeah. The Daily Mail.
Yeah, it's windy right here. I'm up in North Texas, and it's nice little wind. Cool breeze.
That's not how they get down. That's not how they. She knows it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just like to say, I will say this to you: be safe. Watch out for weird stuff. There are a lot of people without power. You know what it is, but don't. Well, some people will be panicking, but just keep it close to the vest. Watch out for anything. Like I was talking to a guy today. Me and my homeboy was talking today. We wouldn't be surprised if Alien Invasion comes.
Yeah, he came and checked on us.
Well, that's good.
Checked over to stay with us a long time.
Well, like my boy said earlier today, BJ, one of these stores, they gonna start bringing some aliens out. I said, well, shit, that ain't take rocket science. Know that shit. You know that's gonna happen. Shoot, I said they plotting that shit right now.
I told you they gonna open up the court and bring out their white Jesus.
Well, shit.
And suck the motherfuckers up in some called up.
Well, white Jesus was in the black church yesterday down there in Philadelphia. Shit.
Well, there you go.
Even though.
Yeah, that's the church he was on the radio station with?
No, he was on a radio station with somebody else, and then he went to the church. And Bishop called me this morning because the church, the church is literally right down the street from his house. He said he know this pastor. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's why.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah, they did.
And he said he been there, and he said the guy is a joke for what he did for right now. He's a joke.
Yeah, that ain't gonna look good for him neither. That's what they did. Okay, she can come home on the roof.
Just like that pastor you knew in Houston last night.
Jumping for Cracker Jack,
Just
baby.
like that pastor I was playing last night in Houston, you knew.
Jumping for Cracker Jack, Bishop.
Yep, got that right.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm gonna send a video to your phone, and we're about to talk about this radiation.
All right, I'll call in, BJ.
All right, take your time. Be safe.
All right. Okay, we'll do.
All right, look, man. So yeah, she's right, man. A lot of things going on. Dang, Shaq. I think this is the video. This might be it. Yeah. Shaq, I know you've been going a while.
We get some high winds up in where I'm at.
One of the radiation. Wendy, where you at?
Yeah, you heard?
I hear
That's what I'm trying to show y'all. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to show y'all what it look like. All right, yeah. It's sunny as hell, but it's windy.
Well, hold on, let me play this right quick.
Yeah.
Except once. Not fine. You've probably seen acute radiation poisoning on TV. people wrapped in bandages and such, but chances are you don't know what's going on there. So let's shed some visible light radiation on this mystery, shall we? There are a few kinds of radiation. Some is light or heat, but the kind that damages tissue is called ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiation comes in high energy waves like X-rays and gamma rays, or from nuclear material via particle decay. This kind of radiation can damage atoms, which can affect whole molecules like DNA, and that can affect your cells, organs, and eventually your whole body. For example, your cells are reform as O2, hydrogen peroxide. Not great. Of course, this all depends on dosage. Theoretically, ionizing radiation has no safe dose. A dental or stomach x-ray might be like 8 milligrays, which isn't that many, or 8 millisieverts, repeated low-level exposure, like in tanning or working near nuclear material, can cause cancer. But when lots of ionizing radiation hits you at once, which is serious, and it comes in 4 phases. First is prodromal. This is vomiting, nausea, diarrhea, anorexia, and more radiation makes this worse. It can hit you within a few minutes or days after an exposure. Second, like symptoms, but you didn't actually get over. Then maybe weeks after that, bad stuff happens that we'll get into. And then 4 is recovery or death. If it's a low dosage, you can probably recover, though you may have a higher risk of cancer. However, above a certain point, the poop emoji with 20 bone marrow cells by damaging their DNA. No bone marrow means no replacement white blood cells in case of infection, no of injury. If your bone marrow is destroyed, you could get a bone marrow transplant, but even that only gives you a 50-50 chance. At more than 10 gray, at least 1,250 x-rays at once. Cells in the worse. Once the GI tract shuts down, death is the brain can't control the body anymore because of cell death, and that's all she wrote. Because radiation is damaging DNA at the atomic level, acute poisoning is very hard to treat. Radaway doesn't exist, but there are some treatments for some of the symptoms. For example, if you get an infection because your white blood cells are compromised, doctors can treat it. Same with the nausea, the burns, dehydration. We know a lot about this because of the disaster at Chernobyl and because of the bombs dropped on Japan to end World War II. Scientists entered the area studying the sick and documenting everything they could, but there's still a lot that we don't know. I mean, as scary as radiation can be, most of us will never get exposed to the dosages required to have to know all this stuff. But it's still kind of nice to know, right? This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make your next move with Squarespace. Squarespace is used by a wide range of creatives, musicians, designers, artists, restaurants, and more. So start your free trial today at squarespace.com. If you use the offer code SEEKER, you'll get 10% off your first purchase. Nuclear disasters can really...
All right, Shaq. What do you think about this radiation poison, man?
I think people should, like you said, go get evaluated, man, because you never know if you've been exposed. And I'm thinking with the usage, the over usage of cell phones, smart TVs, Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying? There's in all these areas and stuff that they implement in these areas and stuff. Walking to a lot of these areas with a lot of these concentrated areas where they got when you can see where the tree where there ain't that many trees at in these more inner city areas, I think people should get tested, man. Because they probably having them symptoms and just thinking, writing it off as, oh, I've got the stomach bug, or I'm just coming down with a little flu. You know what I'm saying? And don't know. So we gotta keep blasting and keep earning and stand on this radiation thing, because I'm thinking in the future, Bishop, we're currently now in the future, I think more and more people are going to get attuned to that. Hey, hold on. I think we're being poisoned. The reason why a lot of people, I'm adding prostate cancer into it. I'm adding hair loss into it, because those are all things that's possible within that radiation exposure. We don't know when we got exposed to it, or if we get exposed to it every day. If you got a cell phone with 5G on it and you want it all day, it's in your pocket, it's in your bedroom, you got laptops, tablets, Wi-Fi on, you get exposed to you got the smart TV too, Bishop, that's hanging on your walls or whatever. That stuff is seeping through, and you're getting some part of radiation in your body. That's a
That
fact.
doesn't surprise me a bit. You're right, Shaq. And I got all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
Smartphones,
Me too.
laptop, iPad, this, that, and the other. Yep.
Mhm. Yeah. But you know what? I heard they got some type of let me get correct now. Let me see. What's the correct word to say? I want to say they got some type of paint for the walls that they can help block some of that out a little bit. I'm not 100% sure. I got to do some more research on that. Because allegedly, you remember back in the days when the houses, they would use the paint had lead in it, Bishop?
Oh,
and they were telling everybody, well, guess what? That also, not saying protected you, but it slowed down those RF waves that come through your house. That's another reason why that they stopped using those paint fillers or whatever, those paints and stuff like that inside homes and shit, industrial homes and stuff like that. Because of, I'm thinking that was one thing. Some people was getting lead poison, depending on the exposure. And another thing is it was blocking out a lot of the radio waves.
Asbestos was a big thing. Asbestos, when I was coming along,
Yeah.
was a big thing. And it gave
Mhm.
lung cancer and other things like that. Yeah, you're right.
Right. But that lead paint, it blocked it out. It I didn't say it blocked it and stopped it, but it definitely interrupted the concentration of the radiation getting through. So obviously, that was another reason why they had to get rid of so much lead paint thing, because they were setting up for this digital age anyway. You know what I'm saying? But it's just my opinion.
Let me ask you a question, Shaq. Yeah, you're right. Let me
Yeah.
ask you a question, Shaq. Before I go, I want to bring this to you, because I was telling her about radioactive elements, right? Do you think this
Right.
got something to do with radioactive element? Watch this bear. I want y'all to watch this video and tell me what y'all think. And tell me what y'all think about this, because I ain't never seen this in live. Man, I hope this got to be an imitation bear, man. Watch this, yo.
Oh, the little girl. And see, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You see, if you had the food, you will take it. Oh, the little girl. Oh, it's grabbing her clothes. Yeah, you'll leave. All right, carry the food, go on this for you, please. Take the food in. Oh, yeah, there's something. He's trying to take the. Oh, the little girl. Is he? Oh, you'll be fine.
Now, Shaq, ain't nobody seen no goddamn bear. Oh, this is some crazy shit. This is in Tennessee, but it's crazy as hell. I saw it. I said, "Whoa!" I said, "Yeah." Man, I told you, bears been running wild in Virginia to the area, boy. They been doing some creepy stuff, man. Tell you this, lady saw, they saw 2 baby bears in the yard in Suffolk, Virginia, the other day. Man, this shit wild, man.
Well, what you think, Bishop? I'm thinking that, hey, man, animals are very in tune with nature, and I'm thinking radiation, baby. They're trying to get away from it, or making them act a certain way.
Oh yeah, it's going to impact everything.
Right.
I want to ask a question before
Oh,
we get
yeah.
off the air.
Man, I
want to.
A crocodile. A crocodile jumped the feeder.
I want to ask a question before we get off the air tonight, if I may, Bernard, with you and Shaq both. I want your response. A while back, you and I were talking on my show and on your show about there's a conscientious effort of depopulating the world. There's a conscientious effort globally to depopulate the world. You're talking about the weather manipulation. You're talking about the genocides, the all the things that are happening in our country. Even the radiation things, everything that happened, abortion, everything that's trying to, even the LGBTQ cult. All of these things are meant to, in my humble estimation, decrease the population in the world. What do you think? Do you think that this is a global plot to alleviate millions of Americans and millions of even really billions of people in the world?
Global. We got a global problem going on.
Yeah, it's definitely a global. It's definitely a global collective of genocide, global genocide, population control, eugenic, on steroids. I would say, Bishop, all the above, bro. All the above. All the above. Neo-Nazism. People scared to say it. Neo-Nazism tied in it too. It was all in there, bro.
Yeah, I wanted your thought. What your thoughts were on that before we left there tonight? Because something I really have considered
and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it.
Go on, Bernard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give you my thoughts. My thoughts is, Bishop, you in your 70s. Ezekiel Emanuel already said when you get past 75, they want to up the retirement age anyway. Some people are going back to work at this age, so it's also a plot to get people back into working who are already older. As a matter of fact, on my next show, I gotta write this down, or I'm gonna have to go back and look in it. There's already a plan to replace a lot of federal jobs up there in DC with AI. Oh yes, with AI. Yes. Right. So and you can take kelp, Coretta, moringa. Shungite works as well to help with radiation. Shungite too. I just want to put those things out there. People need to know this. This is really messing people up, along with the chemicals that people putting in their bodies and hair. Those things. So it's not so as much as I want to use radiation, but I can't use radiation to all fix all boats, because the simple fact of people also are doing this from their own inside factors instead of just outside factors as well, including food and so forth, and like microwaves, so forth, and like fast food, etc., etc. So people have to also know, hey,
oh yeah, we forgot about the microwave. Hey,
and one thing about
we forgot about the microwave. You're right. That's a plot too, Bishop. The microwave was a plot too, like you said, to usher us into these steps.
It's really, to me, I mean, after listening to all of what you said here tonight, it seems like it's very shrewd, because when you attack all those areas, you don't have to attack anything big time. You know what I mean? For example, what I mean is, instead of, if you would attack it one way, like let's say Hitler did with with the gassing of the Jews and the extermination that way of crematoriums, it becomes so obvious what you're doing But when you do a little bit here, you tweak the environment. You tweak what we eat and what you put in the food. You tweak things like you're saying with radiation and abortion and this and that. Little bits and pieces. You're attacking it all kinds of ways. First of all, it's the most effective way to do it because you're attacking it in every possible way. This genocide is not just globally, it's not just global, but it's actually the most diabolical method in doing it. A little bit
Mm-hmm.
here, a little bit over there, a little bit over here. So you can't point to one particular big event or one particular thing in the largest sense. They're nipping and tucking at us. We're dying slowly. We're being
Yep.
exterminated
Slow burn.
slowly. And by the
Killing
time a
me
certain
softly
year
with his
comes
thumb.
along,
But
however, it'll be gone.
Mm-hmm. Let
Even
me add to what
well,
you just said, Bishop.
let me put this.
yeah,
Yeah.
What was the motto they used to say? What they used to say? They used to say, "Oh, we killing what? Two birds with one stone, right, Bishop?"
yeah. Kill two birds with one stone. Kill two birds with
That's
one
out of here.
stone.
My motto, and I can see it,
Well,
is kill multiple birds with multiple stones, bro. That motto was gone. It's killing multiple birds with multiple
With
stones, bro.
multiple stone. Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Bishop,
well, let me
they diabolical, baby.
let me bring this up because on the next show I got to bring
Yeah.
up a couple more things on the radiation. I'm gonna do at least 1 to 2 topics on radiation every time. I also got, like I said, I got to
You
talk
know
about
what?
these AI
We need to.
robots because they got AI.
Well, not to cut you. We need to find
Go
some
ahead.
things to replace. Okay, we need
Go
to
ahead.
start focusing on what can we use. I know you guy. What's his name? The doctor. The Bay guy you be listening to. Bernard. What's his name?
Oh yeah. Bay. Yeah, Bay.
Aline.
Yeah.
Aline Bay. Yeah, yeah. So we need to be
Oh
putting
yeah,
out
yeah.
things that we can
Dr. Aline.
use
Yeah,
to
yeah.
usurp some of this radiation to block some of it. Definitely, it's going to be things like, I mean, Dick Gregory talked about things like kelp and certain sea vegetables, certain things that we need to, that we can, that can get a little bit of this
All right. Well,
toxic metals out of our body. Certain things
how about this?
like the green plants. Hmm.
I'm gonna get some notes on it and
Yeah,
I'll read them off next time. That work because that actually
yeah. That'd be a
I
good
just
idea.
mentioned
Yeah, give some people
shungite.
some
Dawson mentioned chlorella and stuff like that
right
because
chlorella,
they hitting us with a lot of chemtrails. Even these storms, these
chlorophyll.
weather storms, like I said, they dropping off radioactive elements, and that's not being told. Yep, chlorophyll. Yep, that too.
Right,
But
chlorophyll. Yeah. Cause see,
so
chlorophyll is more. It's more close to our blood, if that makes sense. The consistency of the human blood, how the thickness and the thinness or whatever, plant, which is, think about it. That ain't nothing but plant heat, heme. What is heme? Hemoglobin. So that's actually, you can say, that's the blood of the plant. Chlorophyll. It's their blood. So it's consistent with ours because it have maybe the same
well,
consistency of minerals and nutrients in it. So we are nature, Bishop. We are the trees.
well,
We are the plants.
well,
We are the soil.
well. That's
We are the air. We are the water.
well, that's that's right, Bishop. You called it out. Hey, Bishop, can you hear me?
Yep. I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Well, thanks for calling me earlier today because you gave me inspiration to do this show to talk about Philadelphia and Texas at the same time, and even Virginia with Pharrell because Pharrell, he's on that same nonsense. But so since you called me this morning, go ahead and shout out your information, man.
Yes. Every Wednesday evening at 7:30 p.m. We'll talk with the G-Man. Our call-in number 563-999-3705. We invite you to come to continue the conversation that we have, and Shaq is one of our regulars, certainly Bernard is, and so many interesting points of view are shared on Wednesday evening, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the state of Pennsylvania, in the city of Philadelphia. Real Talk with the G-Man. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you both this evening,
Well,
and I hope and pray that each of you have a great week.
I want to make one suggestion. If you get a chance, one day in your show, let's bring up some more health stuff because it's well needed. Just want to put that out there. That's on me.
I'm going to do that. I want that. I want that. We're going to do that again.
Oh, you know what? I'm glad you said that, Bernard, because I that's what I wanted to get. Yeah, I'm glad because I supposed to be calling you, Bishop, because that show we did, and when I came on, I got to salute you, appreciate you for opening your panel up, opening your platform up, and allowing such a young gentleman like myself from a guy Marcus to come on and have the information. But I had some people tuning in, man, and they was in tune. And they wanted more information. They said they want to see more shows like that. They want to, cause I want to get more people involved. I didn't want to sit there and just be talking like it's a sermon. And my objective was when I came on was to get everybody on the line involved, like ask questions. You know what I'm saying? So we all can participate. I didn't want to just be the only one talking. I want everybody to participate because I noticed in certain areas, and when people are attentive and participate, I think they tend to, make the show go better. Whether it's one person always, yap, just get, participation.
Well, I really enjoyed the show, and I appreciate you and your friend, Brother Mark, coming on to share the information as well. And all, you all added to the conversation. I appreciate it. And we're going to have it again.
Information too.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but I forgot. It's a lot because there's a lot of stuff to try to cover, and I forgot a lot of stuff. And I was thinking because me and Stice, he did one because he tuned in with him and his family and stuff, and they was listening. Because this hit home to us because me and him talk every morning about just health stuff, life stuff, man stuff, and me, So it was inspired when I brought it up to you because I'm hearing a lot of people. We had these conversations on phone calls and stuff. So I appreciate you opening the panel up, man, and hopefully we're looking forward to some future joint ventures or some
I
more.
really want to do it once a month.
Interaction.
I want to at least do it once a month. So let's schedule it for the first week in August. So
okay, so we can target like
and everything. We're gonna do it again the first week in
we
August.
can start. We can try to target specific areas, like you said, because I know you wanted some more stuff on like the prostate and more like the
right.
Even with your situation with the hernia stuff and like what foods you can eat and can't eat, just to give people, some encouragement that we all in this together. Ain't nobody alone in this situation. Now we got the internet, we got these devices. So even though we might be in different states, different time zones, we still all in this together. So we can share and divulge different things. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, okay, yeah, my bad. Y'all can follow me on Instagram, Shaq_Edwards. Say it again.
No, I was just saying I was concurring with you saying, and go ahead and shout your information. I'll say it after you're done. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, appreciate it, man. Salute to both of y'all, man. People in the chat, everybody's tuning in. I'm probably gonna listen to this later. But you can check me out on Instagram. That's CHAQ_Edwards on Instagram. Same as on Facebook. Shaq Edwards on Facebook. And Shaq Wilder on YouTube.
Okay. But yeah, so what I was gonna say was, Bishop, you gotta talk about it because I'm writing it down right now on this paper. And my areas that I'd like to talk about, since everybody talking about it so much, is prostate and mental state. Because if you got a bad prostate, you're gonna have a bad mental state. It's gonna go hand in hand.
Okay, good.
Hand in hand,
oh yeah, better believe that.
I want it to be different each time. I want us to deal with different topics each time. I don't want it to be the same thing every single time. Because there's so much science and medicine is so vast. You never can run out of things to talk about. You can never run out of things to talk about.
Y'all see that? What that say?
Because like I always say, I said prostate and mental state right there. It's in the right hand corner.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if you have problems, especially in those type of areas, your mental state can always be messed up. Yeah.
Y'all see that? What that say? Can y'all read that, Bishop?
What was that?
No, I can't. I see it, but I can't
read it.
What does it say, Shaq? Because I can see it. I know.
But I need to move it over. It's called nettle leaf. Nettle leaf.
Naturally. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Or stinging nettle. Yeah, or stinging nettle. Yeah. I use this. You make it as a tea, put it in the pot of spring water, make it as a tea, and it's good for things like you say, helping with the kidneys, a lot of flushing out a lot of the organs and stuff like that. We're praying a lot of those things and stuff. I drink it every now and again. Make me a big pot of that tea, nettle tea or stinging nettle. You know what I'm saying? So when you get a chance, y'all can look that up. Nettle tea or stinging
Nettle
nettle.
tea. Okay, sticky nettle. Okay.
Yeah, nettle
Okay,
tea.
I'm writing it down now
Yeah.
in my notes.
Well,
Okay,
Okay.
gentlemen.
I just want
Well,
to
thank you so
put
much
this
for
in my
inviting me.
thing and just say, yes, sir. Y'all take y'all time. Have a good night. Thanks for the information,
You do the
Shaq.
same.
And as a matter of fact, one day this week we'll come on and talk about some more radiation things like that, because I've been feeling. I'm just gonna say this. The last thing I'm gonna say. The radiation is causing people to have weird behavior pattern, not just that daggone bear. It's causing people to have the same problems. With that being said, it is what it is, and take your time.
Night.
Yes, sir. Take your time, Shaq.